Xin chào các bạn, chào mừng tất cả các bạn đã đến với chương trình Lịch sử hào hùng, một chương trình được đặc biệt tạo ra bởi iKSIELTS giúp cho việc luyện tập nghe tiếng Anh trở nên thú vị hơn qua những chủ đề lịch sử. Để luyện tập tốt hơn, hãy cùng quét mã bài tập ở góc phải màn hình hoặc click vào phần mô tả để luyện tập tốt nhất nhé. Ok, bắt đầu thôi.
130 years ago, on June 5th, 1911, President Ho Chi Minh left Nha Rong port to find a way to save the country. What is remarkable here is that at that time, he was only 21 years old, at an age when many people today are still relying on their parents for monthly expenses. Yet, he already had thoughts of national liberation. Perhaps the 30 years abroad gave him a comprehensive view of the world. First, he could predict almost any event decades in advance. For example, in 1954, after the Dien Bien Phu victory, a battle that shook the world, everyone was jubilant and excited. But President Ho was different. He told his general not to celebrate too soon because the US, which has been supporting France to occupy Indochina, would definitely intervene when France was defeated. Therefore, they should not celebrate prematurely and must prepare for the plan to fight the US. And, of course, everything happens exactly as he predicted. Specifically, he believed that fighting the US would be much tougher than fighting the France, as the US was extremely strong in terms of firepower, air force, and particularly the B-52 bombers. As early as 1962, 10 years before the US brought the B-52s to bomb Hanoi and declared that Hanoi would return to the Stone Age, he asked Colonel Phung Thế Tài, an air defense soldier, "Have you heard about the B-52 planes?" This question left Colonel Phung Thế Tài very confused. On a spring evening in 1968, President Ho again spoke with Comrade Phung Thế Tài, who was then Deputy Chief of Staff of the Vietnam People's Army. At the very beginning, he asked about the B-52s and predicted that sooner or later, the US would bring the B-52s to bomb Hanoi, and they would only admit defeat if they lost. He reminded that before signing the armistice agreement at Panmunjom in Korea, the US has their air force destroying Pyongyang. In Vietnam, the US would certainly be defeated, but they would only admit defeat when they lost in the sky over Hanoi, he said. Therefore, the missions for Phung Thế Tài was very challenging. Thanks to these accurate predictions, by the end of 1972, the US has to admit defeat after bringing the B-52s to bomb Hanoi. Thousands of articles and hundreds of books was written just to explain one question. What was the reason? What was the strength that enabled the country with economic and military power far inferior to the US, equipped only with anti-aircraft guns, MiG-12 and SAM-2 missiles, to shoot down numerous B-52 bombers, the pride of American industry? That question is very difficult for the world, but very simple for every Vietnamese. That victory came from the genius mind and the vision beyond the time of President Ho. Moreover, on the occasions of the 15th anniversary of the National Day on September 2nd, 1960, in his welcoming speech, President Ho said if the entire nation united and reserved in the struggle, our country would certainly be unified within the 15 years at the latest. North and South would reunite as one. He especially circled the phrase 15 years at the latest, instead of crossing it out, and did not read it out loud. According to some people, he did this because he wanted the entire party and the people to unite and struggle, not just sit and wait for the day of victory. Exactly 15 years later, in the spring of 1975, with the great victory of the historic Ho Chi Minh campaign, our country was unified, North and South reunited as one, as he had marvelously predicted. It is perhaps due to this great predictive ability that Dr. Lê Thẩm Dương once said in his speech that, according to probability mathematics, it would take 1,000 years to find someone like President Ho Chi Minh.
Chương trình xin được phép tạm dừng tại đây. Đừng quên ấn like và subscribe nhé.